Welcome to the No Dress Code Pod, where we keep it real, celebrate Black excellence, and dive into the things that matter most. Tune in, vibe out, and let's get into it. Welcome to another episode of the No Dress Code Pod. I'm your host and favorite hoochie, Bree. If this is your first time listening, or if you're a returning listener, then thank you. I appreciate you being here because really you could be anywhere else, but you chose to be here, and I appreciate you for that. Now, before we get this episode started, you already know what I'm going to say. You already know what I'm going to ask. I hope that you're having an amazing week. And if you're not, drop it in the comments. Let me know you're not having an amazing week. Now, there's nothing I could do for you in this moment, but I can continue to speak it over you and hope that going forward, the rest of your week is good. So let me know in the comments how your week is. If you are visually watching this, then you will see today we do not have a guest, a special guest. Today it's just me and you. Also, if you're watching this, you'll see that we are real comfy and cozy today. And that's because today we're diving into a no holds barred conversation about mental health. No, excuse me. There will be no Reddit threads this time. There's no listener submissions. It's just real unfiltered thoughts. Let's normalize these conversations and leave the taboo of mental health behind. Just for anybody who's listening, this episode will cover personal struggles that I have gone through, actionable tips that maybe you can take, and why mental health deserves a front row seat in our daily lives. Right next to me, if you ask me. I deserve a front row seat in your daily life, but so does mental health. Just my opinion. For my personal experience, for me, mental health is not just a buzzword. I try to make it a daily practice between balancing the podcast, school, boxing, and life. I've learned that taking care of my mind is as important as taking care of my body. I have experienced anxiety, be it social. I do not like being in big crowds. I do not like being around a lot of people. And I know you're thinking,
how can that work? You have a podcast. We're gonna go on tour one day. We're gonna be around crowds of people.
And that's true. And I'll have to work on that. I'll have to get comfortable. I feel like the community I'm building, or the community I would like to build, is non-judgmental. Now, are y'all really? I hope so. But like I said, it's something that I have to work on. My social anxiety did not come overnight. There have been incidences where I've just been too close to people, and I don't mean like a emotional way. I mean like just physically too close. And things have happened, and I don't, for instance, I was in high school, and I was in my neighborhood, and there was this couple in like a van. Stranger danger, I know. There was like a couple in like a van, and because I'm like, I don't want to say known, like I'm known in my neighborhood, but like I'm known in my neighborhood because of who my daddy is, right? So I usually don't have problems talking to people in my neighborhood. It's not a preference. I just like talking to people, period. But I don't have problems talking to people in my neighborhood. So I was walking past this car or whatever van. They had asked me a question, and I stopped to like answer it. Mind you, again, I said I was physically too close. And they just grabbed my arm. And I don't know about you. I personally don't like being touched. So that was already like a red flag for me. But they grabbed my arm and I tried to yank it back and they would not let go. So that's already like red flag number 2. Mind you, at this point, my dad just so happened to drive by and he honked his horn to let me let me know he saw me and and I see him. And granted, I could have and probably should have spoken up in that moment, but I didn't. And the people in the car, because I was like, oh, that's my dad, and like tried to grab my arm back, you know, to be like, okay, well, you know, somebody sees me, so if something happens to me, baby, this world gonna rock. This world gonna rock when it come to me. But if something happens to me, like, you can be identified. Like, don't get shit twisted around here. And they was like, and I kid you not, like, this happened in high school. Mind you, I'm in my 30s now, so for me to still remember it is something. They were like, well, basically,
your daddy gonna do whatever we say because right now we have you.
And I said, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh my God, like, this is why I don't like people touching me now. Like, and the fact that you think my daddy not gonna sit here and ride up for me, bitch, when I tell you this whole block could be shut down about me, don't play. The whole block could be shut down about me. Okay, let that man get to the house. The whole block gonna be shut down about me. So I was like, oh, okay. Like, eventually I snatched my arm back. I didn't run because I wasn't like, I don't feel like I was that like in danger where I had to run for my life. But I definitely looked the fuck back as I'm walking because what the fuck? You know, and it's just one of those things that for me, it added to my anxiety. It was like, oh, okay, I'm holding myself accountable because, yeah, I probably shouldn't have been talking to you in the first place. Stranger danger. But I don't like to be touched. I really do not like to be touched. I don't care how you touch me. I don't care who you are. I have to really like fuck with you for me to like be comfortable with you touching me. Like, I don't. And then for you to tell me that he gonna do whatever he said, whatever you say because you have me, I don't. Yeah. It just added to the anxiety that I probably already experienced or that I was already experiencing. And it definitely, I don't want to say kept me away from people. But it was one of the reasons why. So that added to my anxiety, like my social anxiety. Honestly, it's not even a story I told my dad. So my dad passed never knowing or really hearing that story. I didn't tell my mom more so until probably my 30s. And that, like I said, happened when I was like 16, 17. It played a part in why I just do not trust people. I mean, I trust people, but I don't. Like, it to a certain extent, I will trust you. But also mental health, you sometimes have like issues with like burnout or just feeling like you're not doing enough. Like me personally, again, I tell y'all, I'm not the only person who works on this podcast, although y'all might think I am because I'm the only one you see. But it's hard, like editing, recording, team meetings. Like, don't get me wrong, I love it down, but it's like, god dang, I need help. Not like that. I wouldn't mind an editor though. If somebody wants to come through and edit these videos for me, I would not mind. But because sometimes it's like it's overwhelming in the sense that I know I have X amount of footage and I have to go through it and I have to sync it up and I have to, for me, the part that becomes overwhelming at times is what to cut out. Like, I feel like a lot of the times, especially with special guests, we have conversations that sometimes it's like, all right, this is off topic. And sometimes it's like, yeah, this is on topic, but it's a lot. It's going to have this episode be 3 hours, and baby, I'm only trying to allocate you an hour, you know? Plus I have to edit for school. So I'm not just editing for home, I'm editing for school as well. And, you know, it's a lot to juggle sometimes. But, and I just feel like at times I'm not doing enough for my own podcast. Like, I'm not saying we should be further than what we are, because we did take a 6-month break, give or take, you know. But I just feel like, you know, sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough. But also, what more can we do? We're literally trying to do everything, you know, that we know how or can think of. So what more can we do? How I've helped my mental health a lot. I was in therapy. I've had a few therapists. The second one was amazing. Loved her down. I'm actually going to see if we can get her on, but we'll see. Loved her down. She advertises herself as your best friend therapist. And I love that. Because I tell my best friend everything for the most part. There's not too much about me that my best friend couldn't tell you. So therapy helped, as well as boxing. Boxing helped me tremendously, and I didn't think it would. And not just like in a physical way, it helped me mentally. It was something to do to work off whatever it was I was going through. I've learned and I've noticed about myself that I took about September to, what month are we in? November? I took about September to midway October off from boxing. Boxing has been amazing for my mental health. It just, I don't know. I really don't know how to explain it to other people. Because I know it's like, how can something so physical where you are ragtagging people be good for your mental health when your mental is getting knocked up literally. But I don't know. It just works for me. And I don't push it on anybody else, although I do want my friends and family to join. I don't push it on nobody else because it everything isn't for everybody. So there are a lot of misconceptions about mental health, and I'll be honest, before I really started dealing with mental health or like needing to express or worry or have any concerns about mental health, I believed some of the misconceptions. Like I was,
you don't need therapy. Black people don't go to therapy. You just need Oprah and Jesus.
and it's wrong. Okay, mental health is not just about therapy. It's literally the little things we do every day. Sometimes I do a face mask for my mental health. Sometimes for those of you who don't know, like I go smoke a blunt for my mental health. Like I try not to drink. I know what's the difference between drugs and alcohol. Experiences. I've had very bad experiences with alcohol. And I don't like the person I was when I was drinking. I don't like the things that I was doing when I was drinking. So, I do try to stay away from drinking. Although I will drink on the show, I will have a drink or two. I don't get drunk is my thing. I try not to get like blackout drunk, especially anymore. But I'll go to the beach for my mental health. Sometimes I literally will go to the gym sometimes. I don't know what to do. Like, if I'm struggling, and because I don't have a therapist anymore, I got to figure it out. But one of the things I have learned is that discussing stigmas, especially in creative spaces or communities where mental health isn't always openly talked about, has helped. Recently, I just posted on Instagram while I was having somewhat of a bad mental health day. It took a lot out of me to post it because I literally contemplated whether I should post it or not, because I was like, it doesn't necessarily go against my brand because we are big on mental health here, but it goes against what I feel like Instagram is for. Instagram is like, and again, this is the negative part of my thinking.
Instagram is for laughs, it's for jokes. It's not something to be taken serious.
And to a certain extent, it's not. You can log off Instagram and go live your real life. When people say log off and touch grass, that's what the fuck they're talking about. Like, you can log off and live your real life, and Instagram is not a real place. The internet itself is not a real place. But sometimes it's just nice. I'm not even gonna say nice, because it definitely wasn't nice. And even to this day, and it's been give or take a week or so, I contemplate taking that video down. It's been shared a few times, probably more than any of my other videos, which also gives me a little anxiety because it's like, I am mentally struggling. And I'm showing the world that mentally I'm struggling. Like, I'm going through it. And I just allowed y'all to be in my business. Like, something I never thought I would do, especially in a bad mental space. Like, when my car got broken into and I put that episode out, yeah, that was different. That was literally just like an isolated event, although it wasn't as isolated as it's been coming out. It came out like 4 times. But it wasn't as vulnerable. It was more so like anger, and this was more so like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Like, I have no desire to fuck it, I'm gonna be real. I have no desire to end my life, if I'm being honest. None whatsoever. But sometimes when I'm having bad mental days, that's what the voices are telling me. The voices are telling me, girl, go ahead and just take this. Go ahead, just end this. Life is just way too stressful. And we was not meant to be out here stressing. We were literally meant to just live here and have soft lives. Like, literally paying for everything that God had already paid for. I'm paying for it again. Like, and you want me to pay for it till the day I die. Like, I don't get a break. Like, it just does not sit well in my spirit. And it just, I don't know, like, it's not even the fact that it's bills. It's not even the fact, that like it's a financial thing. It's just, I was having a moment and it was hard, and I tried to be as vulnerable as I could because, like I said, I'm asking that from you. I want that from you. I want you to feel like talking to me is a safe space, because it is. I'm very non-judgmental. I may say some shit that sounds like judgment, but truly it's not. But I was struggling, and the voices in my head that day were like, girl, you sure you want to be here? You sure? I mean, we could just end it today and boom, we ain't got no more stressors. But it's like, I really don't want that. I only have these thoughts because mentally I'm not okay. I'm just, something in my spirit just will not, it's gnawing at me. And so I put that video up. And again, like I said, I contemplated to this very moment whether I should take it down. Because it's like, yeah, there are comments, and yeah, they're all supportive, and yeah, some of them are from people who I never would have even expected that. Granted, I will say that video, although some people did tell me to take it down, because it's not what we do, it's not who we are, it's not what we show the world, and that plays a part in why people's mental health is how they are. Because why do I need to present as someone who is happy 24/7 if I'm not? There are days where it's just like, nah, I can't. I can't. As much as I want to be there for you, as much as I want to be that shoulder for you, I just physically cannot do it. Mentally, I'm fighting my own battles. And I feel like we all are. And everybody has their own definition of like mental health and their own definition of struggling. And what struggling may look like to me may not look like to you. Like, I, especially on, the internet where we connect with each other, I try to be happy-go-lucky. I try to bring smiles. I try to, crack a joke every now and then, because that's what we do. I'm a fucking comedian. But I have to also be real with myself. But I also have to just be real with myself and say, like, no. Like, because I feel like if I continue to put on the front and continue to show up for you guys happy and continue to just be like, oh my God, like I don't have problems, that's not real. That's not authentic. That's not that's not how we grow. So showing up inauthentic does nothing for me or nothing for our brand. And I feel like you guys could read through that. So I try to present, I don't try to show all my bad days. Cause y'all might think I need real therapy, but I show what I can. And, it was a struggle to even show that. Like I got a phone call telling me I should take it down. And then I contemplated it, and I still do. But I also had a comment that said, and I pinned it, and it was basically just like, you're not the only one struggling, and I needed to see this. Like I needed this. And I was just like, okay, thank you. I appreciate, that it is helping someone, because that is partially like, why I put it out, because I know I'm not the only one struggling. I know that, more than just me struggles. So I thought it might help someone else if it could not help me in that moment. And so I'm just glad that it did. Someone who felt like they needed to see it saw it. I can't say you should go look at it, because again, I might take it down, but I'll see it. It was a very vulnerable thing for me, and I've never been that vulnerable with anybody outside of like my close circle of friends. So to go on the internet and be like, I'm having a bad mental health day, y'all. The voices in my head, I can't listen to them. And it was a lot. So, like I said, if you see it and you resonate with it, then that's what it was for. Because we don't heal or we don't get better mentally by holding it in. We don't, it doesn't help to hold it in. It really just, I feel like, hurts us more. Also, I feel like we live in a hustle culture, and especially entertainment, that makes it feel like you can't take a break. But breaks are where the magic happens. Breaks, literally, we took that 6-month break, and that was unexpected. It really was not something that was planned. It's just, again, mentally, it was a lot, from the car break-ins to the deductibles to, goddamn. I'm wondering if my insurance is gonna drop me because I'm getting hit too frequently. But when we came back, I feel like we've come back stronger. We've come back better. I feel like we're not where I would like us to be, professionally, or just like in general. We're not where I would have us, or where I would imagine us to be. But we are doing better than what we were. The way I'm pushing these guests out on y'all is like chef's kiss. And it took that break. It took, it just took that break. And I know, even I contemplated, like, am I coming back for real? Like, but I know this is what I want to do. I know that this helps me mentally. It does add stressors, don't get me wrong, but it helps me mentally tremendously. And not even just because I'm like not formally working right now. It having conversations, or having real conversations with people that are just like everyday general, are just good for your soul. Maybe businesses you need to know about that you haven't heard about yet, and I just think that it helps and it heals not only me, but I feel like it heals the guests as well. Like, and I mean, you can ask any guest that's been on. We definitely try to make sure that they are comfortable, that everybody's okay, but yeah, one thing for sure, we gonna make sure that when you come here, your mentals, if it's not okay, let me know. Like, so originally, when I was first starting, it was harder to necessarily get guests. And I don't know if it was considered networking up or like networking across, but we've had people who have had like millions of followers and stuff inquire about coming on. Things haven't aligned as well as we have planned, but it happens. So we're steadily growing. We're steadily getting our guests. We're steadily finding people who want to come on, people who we don't necessarily even have to ask half the time. People are just like, hey, I want to come on. And I love that for you. I do. I love that. Because to me, it makes me feel like that coming on, you're going to be comfortable. You're going to be, ain't no funny shit. I'm not finna sit here and tell you that, oh, I wasn't going to ask you about your relationship and then pop off. And so how's that? Like, I feel like people feel comfortable coming on here and sharing their stories. And if you guys feel comfortable coming on here sharing your stories, I have to feel that same comfortable with sharing my own story. And it's not always a beautiful or happy go lucky thing. Sometimes it's ugly. Sometimes I have to just sit in my room and like cry myself, like put my phone on do not disturb and just cry. Like, I have moments where and I joke about how I don't need a job, how I don't need a 9 to 5 because it fucks with my mental. And to a certain extent, I mean that wholeheartedly. It does. Because I'll work a job for a while, 6 months or so. I feel like it's a while. I usually don't keep a job longer than 2 years. But About 6 months in, I get the feeling like this just ain't it. There's something about this job that I just don't like. Like, I don't know. And I'm very much grateful to have the jobs that I've had. Very much also grateful to be out of them. But I'm grateful to have them just for the income, if I'm being honest. But mentally, I was never happy at those jobs. Like I said, I'm in school again, and I'm, trying to better myself for this podcast and better my skills, and that way I can like freelance, my stuff, my work and stuff, like editing or whatever. And it's been the one thing that I'm just like, you know what? I don't struggle to go. Like, I struggle to work. I struggle to get up, and I know I should, and I know I have to, because I know that I need money to survive in this life, but I don't want to go. Mentally, I had a job that was a really, really okay job. Pay was like, and that could be another thing. The pay is never that good. The pay was like, okay. It was above minimum wage. It was less than 18, but I don't know what minimum wage is wherever you're at. But it was like 18, rounded up, right? If I'm rounding up, it was like 18 an hour. And I used to drive home from that job or drive to that job and just be like, I need to crash my car. I just need to drive into this freeway and just like end it all, because I just do not want to go here. And that's usually how, unfortunately, most of my jobs end. Like, I just get to a point where it's just like, I'm really doing something I'm not even happy doing. Like, this is not what I want to do with my life. And I just can't mentally force it anymore. Mentally, now my mental is fighting me. My mental is like, girl, you don't even want to be here. If you don't crash your car, end it all. Because then we really ain't got to work no more. Like, and it's not even the fact that I don't want to work. Because like I said, I work on this podcast every fucking day. Every fucking day, the computer is in my hand. Like, if I'm out, it's out. And so I don't mind working. It's just I really was not enjoying what I was doing. It just was not fulfilling me in any way, shape, or form. Financially, physically, mentally, emotionally. It just was not fulfilling me, and I just couldn't bear it anymore. Like, I don't know how y'all feel. And again, this is why I just be like, yeah, this is another reason why I'm trying to, fulfill my own dreams and build my own dreams and grow with you guys. And I'm not asking y'all to fund my lifestyle in any way, shape, or form, but this is another reason why I'm trying to build my own, so that I don't have to answer to someone else, or I don't have to mentally deal with that feeling of I'm just another worker here. And I think that's what it is. I'm not valued here. I'm just, and the thing, I know I speak about like me dying, like I'm suicidal. And I swear to God, I'm not. I swear to God, I'm not. But the way I look at it is, and I've been at jobs, so I know it happens, is if I were to die today working here, you would have my position replaced by the end of the week. You'd have the posting online by the end of the day. Like, I'm just a number. I'm just a person here. I'm not valued. And I think that's why I always feel like that. Like, all right, it's time to end it. And instead of ending it, of course, I leave the job. I get fired. I quit, whatever the case may be. But I don't feel valued. And I think that plays a part on my mental. Like, I feel like the team of NDC, they are truly valued. When they say they need off days, it's unlimited PTO over here. Okay, the P is silent, so it's unlimited. It's unlimited TO over here. There's unlimited TO over here, but it seems always like I need a day off. I give you a day off. Like, you don't even have to explain. Just put it on the calendar. I check it. It's your day off, baby. So I want you, like, I want to feel valued as an employee. So I feel like with the team, I want the team to feel valued. And that I don't know, like, I feel like that plays a big part in performance. It plays a big part in, your attitude of like showing up and everything. And, because who wants to work a job where they're not happy? A lot of y'all do. I know a lot of you are thinking, I work a job, I'm not happy now, but why do we? I mean, I know we need the money, but if it's mentally fucking with you, I hope you get out of that job, or I hope you get out of whatever is mentally fucking with you, because find a therapist if you need one. Get out of whatever it is you need to get out of. I promise, the better days are better than the hard days. So things you can help, things you can do to help with your mental health. I personally don't, but I know people journal. I don't know. Writing just isn't my thing. Obviously, well, I'm a podcast host, not a writer. Writing isn't my thing. So I don't necessarily journal. Meditate, or unplugging your phone or unplugging from the world for like 30 minutes or so, like however it is you need to do, like, and meditate. However, I have tried yoga. It was at the YMCA, so it wasn't like real yoga, but I've tried yoga. It's not bad if you can get into it. I do want to try like a hot yoga, but I don't feel like that's a mental thing. I just think that's a thing. But you could, stretch, find what works for you. Like I said, like a physical outlet, and it's crazy because I haven't fought since I was like in 7th grade. And had a fight since I was like in 7th grade. And honestly, that wasn't even my fight. If I'm being honest, it wasn't even my fight. Let me tell you what happened. The guy, okay, so I quote unquote dated this guy, right? We're in 7th grade, so is it really dating? I had a crush on this guy, or I had a crush on me, whatever. The guy ended up having a crush on my cousin later on. And my cousin just didn't want to fuck with him. It had nothing to do with me. She just didn't want to fuck with him. And so he ended up telling one of his sisters that I went to school with that he lied. Actually, he lied to his sister and said I was talking shit about their mama and whoop this. And mind you, I was cool with the sister, like cool with her before I ever had a little crush on her brother. And it was like, looking back at it now, it was like, girl, you wanted a reason to fight me, because the shit he was saying, you could have asked me and I would have told you straight up it was a lie. And I told you straight up and down it was a lie. You just wanted to fight me, and that's okay. I'll be honest, I ain't fight the girl back because it just was not my fight. And I don't know if it was like adrenaline or what, but it just didn't hurt. So why I look like hitting you back? Like, it was like, and girl, if you want to fight now at 30 plus, I really don't care. The shit happened in 7th grade. All I give a damn. It didn't hurt. Like, in that moment, like, I remember telling people, like when we got escorted to the principal's office, and they was like, oh shit, you got, and I was like, but it didn't hurt. Like, I didn't feel nothing. So I don't know what kind of fight that was, but I didn't feel nothing. And I'm bigger than the girl. Not like bigger, but like, I'm probably fatter. I probably had more pounds than her, but it didn't hurt. So what I look like, I don't know. I didn't. And y'all can call me a punk, y'all can call me a bitch, y'all can call me a pussy, like y'all can call me whatever, but run up on me now. It just didn't hurt, So but like I said, boxing has helped me now. Not only do I box, I've also sparred. I don't consider myself a boxer. There is a difference. I will spar again. It, I don't know. Like sparring probably isn't like the mental health part. That's just like I enjoy it. But boxing is like the mental health part. Like when I used to train with this guy, and I the thing okay, this is why I think it helps me mentally, because when I'm going through something, like there was a day that I just had a really bad day about my dad. I was driving home from work. I'm already ready to crash this bitch. But I'm driving home from work and I just like have this feeling of like my dad, and I just like bust into tears. I'm on the freeway, like literally having a panic attack, driving home, and I have maybe less than an hour from the time I get off work to the time I have to go to the gym. So mind you, I'm over here just like crying, snot running. Like it was one of them ugly, ugly cries. And I had to go to the gym. And if I would have allowed that moment to mentally just take over, I would have been getting my ass beat that day. Because that trainer that I was training with did hit. The trainer I have now, he doesn't, but he did hit. He, we trained differently, but so I was getting my ass hit. I was getting my eye popped in. I was getting hit in the eye, hit in the mouth, hit in the head. And it's just like, I have to mentally block out whatever I'm going through, or I'm going to continue to get fucked up. And I don't play about a few things, and I feel like they all start with F. Food. Let me rephrase that. There's no particular order, but it's food, family, funds, and my face. Okay? Never play by my face. So, I have to make sure that like when I step at least into the ring, that mentally nothing else matters. What I went through earlier that day might be fuel to kick your ass today, but I cannot think about what I'm going through outside of using it for fuel. So that's one of the ways it's helped me. Like however you feel like you need, or whatever way you feel like can help you, it does not have to be pretty. It just has to work for you. And people ask me all the time why I box. I mess my face up. I'm gonna, okay, but it helps my mental health. You would rather have me here healthy than be visiting me in somebody's grave. So let me continue to box. Now, even though we're focusing on self-care, do not forget to tap into your circle when you need support. Yeah, speaking from experience, I know that can be hard at times, because like I said, I have friends who I reach out to. I have one friend in particular, and I feel like that's another thing. Like, I don't want to put all my eggs, not necessarily in one basket, because I have baskets I could put these eggs in. But it's just like, I feel more comfortable with these 2 people or with these 3 people. And I don't want to just keep dumping on you. Like, okay, I'm not having a good mental day today. Something in me, and it's the voices. The voices is telling me to just end it. And I'm fighting it mentally. And I know I should reach out to you as my friend, but I feel like I just hit you up last week and just said I'm not having a good day. And I have a friend who was like, bitch, I don't really give a fuck about that. Like, hit me. And it's just like, I do. But then it's just like, damn, am I hitting her too much? Am I depending on her too much? Like, she has a life. Like she has her own shit going on. Am I, like, I don't want to seem like a selfish friend. And I want to give that same like room of I want to give that same safe space that I feel like is provided to me. And I feel like if I'm always dumping on you or expressing like, damn, mentally, I just ain't got it today. If I'm always just like, can you be my friend? Can you be my friend? Like, I never give you room to be like, I need my friend, or I need a friend. And so for me, it's sometimes a hard balance of, nah, she said dump on her. She said dump on her. But then it's also like, does she need to dump on me though? Like, am I being selfish? Am I not leaving that room? So it is something that I personally struggle with. Like how much I should go to my friends or how much I should go to my family and tell you like, I just mentally I can't do it. And some days when my friends need me and I mentally can't do it, like I still do, like I'll do my best because maybe I didn't tell you that I mentally couldn't do it. So I can't hold that against you of not knowing, for not knowing that I'm going through a lot right now. But yeah, you have to depend on your friends. Let them be your safe space. Create that safe space within. Because I remember I was talking to one of my friends and I was just like, yeah, girl, last night I was going through it. Like I had just got off work. I worked a night shift job. Again, same issue, but I worked a night shift job and I was just like, yeah, I was going through it. I just was like, fuck it. I just can't do this shit no more. You mean I gotta work till I'm 65 plus? Like people work sometimes till like their retirement age and then die like a year later. And then it's just like, you worked your whole life for what? Like, you said you was gonna travel when you retired, but you only had a year of retirement and you didn't get to save up for that travel. So you worked your whole life for what? Don't let these jobs kill you. Don't let society kill you. Don't I don't care what nobody says. And this is coming from someone who literally deals with their own mental health, sometimes alone, sometimes with friends. And that's partially part of the reason why I smoke. Again, I understand like smoking can be bad for mental health. If it does not work for you, do not do it. I'm not telling you to go out and smoke. I'm also not telling you to go out and get drunk. Do whatever helps you, but part of the reason why I smoke is because it sometimes allows me to be vulnerable with people that I wouldn't normally be otherwise. Like I have a hard time expressing feelings just because I feel like people don't give a fuck. And that's my anxiety telling me that. Like my anxiety is telling me like people really don't fuck with you like that. And certain times I've been right and certain times I've been wrong. And because it's not just friends. Sometimes like my anxiety will tell me that with family. Like these people don't really fuck with you like that. Like the way you fuck with them, they don't really fuck with you like that. And sometimes it's just not true. A lot of the times I've found out that it's not true. There have been times where it is true and they really was not fucking with me the way I thought they was fucking with me. But you live, you learn. And on top of that, sometimes things just change. Life happens and people sometimes fuck with you in the beginning and don't fuck with you now. But whatever the case may be, yeah, I sometimes, and that's why I have to take breaks away from people, because I could be having the time of my life with you. I could be living it up, laughing, about to pee myself, crying, because times are just so good with you. And there will be this little voice, and I like to call it my anxiety voice. If you've seen Big Mouth, you've seen a little mosquito. It's kind of like that. That will be like, they don't really fuck with you like that. They don't really fuck with you the same way you fuck with them. You going a little too hard for them. They not going hard enough for you. Are you sure? And it's just like, to a certain extent, they do. And I have to tell my anxiety, like, no, I cannot let you win this battle. And sometimes we just allows me to be open and vulnerable with people. It allows me to be like, you know what? I don't tell you a lot because I really deal with my emotions, but I fuck with you and I love you. Oh, don't let me get high. Okay? I'm sending I love yous to everybody. Because that's when it allows me to really be like, you know what? I'm out of my own head. I'm probably overthinking, and I overthink it. Like if I'm texting it to you, I've overthought it before I sent it. Like something told me text it and then hurry up and you know how you used to like hurry up, put your phone on do not disturb. That's basically what I do. I text it and then I hurry up and close the message just in case you don't respond back. It's not even about you responding back, but it's just like, I don't know. I just felt so weird to say that. Like, oh, I love you, and I do, but the anxiety in me just makes it feel like, pipe down. Before we wrap up, I just want to say that it is okay to sometimes say no. You can't show up to everything. You can't be everything for everyone. Sometimes you have to say no and let that no mean no. Because, you can't pour from an empty cup. I don't know if y'all heard me. Like, you can't pour from an empty cup. So sometimes let your no's be no's. And I know sometimes it's hard to be like, oh, I don't really want to say no because this person does so much for me. But baby, again, we only get one life. And I need you to be here, to experience it in all its glory. I hope that this conversation or this episode opens doors for you to have real conversations with your family and your friends and the people surrounding you and the people supporting you if you're struggling. Mental health is not a one-size-fits-all journey, but the most important thing is to keep showing up for yourself. Because genuinely, if you don't, who will? How will your friends know to show up for you if you don't show up for you? So I hope that you guys are checking in with yourselves. If you were not before this episode, I hope that you are checking in with yourselves now. And I hope you check in with yourself regularly. And I hope that you check in for these episodes as well, because we will be dropping every Wednesday like we have been. And before I let you guys go, we don't have a Reddit today. Today was just a mental health check-in, just making sure that you're okay, making sure that I'm okay, making sure that like I may get on this podcast and be laughs and be jokes. I maybe get on the internet and be laughs and be jokes, but whether I show it or not, I go through real shit. Whether you think my life should be peachy keen because of whatever it is you think you know about it, mentally I still go through my own shit. So I hope that you check in with your friends. I hope you check in with your family. I hope you check in with yourself. And before I let you go, you already know what I gotta say. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment to the No Dress Code Pod on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. We're everywhere, wherever you get your podcast from. And don't forget to tell a friend to pull up, because they're going to love it here, just like you do. And I'll see you guys in next week's episode. Bye. You're still here? You know the show's over, right? Don't cry. We'll be back next week. I gotta go be a hoochie. In the meantime, catch up on the older episodes.